another night at the cinema. You can't beat the whole preamble, the smell of popcorn. I love this. And guess what we're here to see? Now, does anyone have a cure for an addiction to fizzy cola bottles? Please, let me know in the comments. Doesn't seem to be hardly anyone up here to see the film. There's lots of people downstairs, but hardly anyone up here. Well, hi everyone, welcome to FilmDirt at the movies. The film's now finished and I'm here just in the cafe to deliberate some thoughts. I've got a coffee, I'm ready to go. First of all, as always, this is a non-shield channel, I paid for my own ticket and all my reviews are my own unbiased thoughts and all that. Okay, so, The Running Man, the new Running Man, running again in 2025, directed by Edgar Wright, starring Glen Powell now as Ben Richards, Josh Brolin, Michael Cera, Emilia Jones, Colman Domingo, William H. Macy, among others. Before we start, just wanted to address the reports of a huge drop-off in ticket sales for this. It's only been out for a week now here in UK, and there's lots of people downstairs coming to see, I presume Now You See Me, Now You Don't. I saw Rental Family and of course Predator Badlands. But you've just seen the little clip I shot upstairs. Hardly anyone waiting to see Running Man. I counted approximately 8 people in a big auditorium. That looks really bad after just 1 week of release for a big movie. Now I understand this is closer to the original Stephen King book, and he does like this film apparently. I know he didn't like the original Arnold version. It kind of veered away from his book and more into an Arnold film. I have not read the book. As always, I just want to look at a film on its own merits. And at times it looks like it wants to copy the Arnold film rather than just be its own thing or just really concentrate on an apparent character study. When I reviewed the Arnold film of '87 a week or two ago on this channel, I remarked that it did look like it was quite a deep character study beneath the surface of a cheesy 80s action movie. I love 80s movies and what they're all about, but I wanted to see the hints of a deeper story about a warped dystopian near future and the issues with propaganda and the media that we only really covered loosely there. But in this movie, it's still just surface level hints at what we should be looking at. I just think there's something here that we really should be exploring, but instead we've got quite a lot of comedy that's almost replicating the Arnold film, and it's also reiterating that it's just showbiz, and I think it should be just giving us a bit more. The bosses they sent out weren't called stalkers anymore. They're called hunters in this film, which I did prefer stalkers. And also the hunters were a little bit more anonymous. The Stalkers were much more in your face, those characters. Remember Buzzsaw, Sub-Zero? They showed the hunters in silhouette initially. You should have just added more to those characters. That could have been a great part of the story, but they were pulling back. Colman Domingo is great as the new TV host. It's not Killian this time. He's played by Josh Brolin, who is now the producer. Glen Powell, I think at times, is a little bit bland. I don't think this is the right vehicle for him. I know they're trying to push him as the next big star. He's obviously been to the gym, he's done his customary shirtless scene, just like, trying to mirror an Arnold film as much as possible, I guess. But we already had the Arnold film, and we already had the gags and the wise-ass cracks at the viewers in front of a camera. It just seemed to be quite boring in places, especially towards the middle of the movie. We meet Michael Cera's character, and he's talking about a hot dog truck. I just didn't know what relevance that had to have with anything. We didn't see Josh Brolin much at all really in the middle portion. I think he's got a big presence on camera. I'd love to have seen more of him. Just a few scenes here which didn't really seem to add anything. And crucially, not as interesting as they should be. And I'm wondering if that rumour has caught on and caused the huge drop-off in ticket sales for this, because it really is bland. There's nothing really extra that the Arnold film didn't do much better in 1987. The main crucial addition here is the advancement in technology. All the CG face replacement alterations seem to be much quicker now. I mean, they didn't even spend any time at all to tell us how they got people to say different things. They just appeared to be talking something different. You can't just pull things like this out of thin air. There's got to be some believability. Even with the advancements of AI, you can't just say that this happened or that happened. Just meet us halfway and just have a little bit of difficulty doing something. And I already mentioned that I found Glen Powell a little bit bland here. I was thinking about midway into the film, Josh Brolin could have been the title character here, playing Ben Richards. I feel he's got as an older man, maybe a bigger personality in front of camera and a bit more of a presence. But I do like at the beginning of the film how they're establishing Glen Powell in the role. He's desperate for money to save his sick daughter, so it's all family orientated. So that's quite deep, but then we kind of ignored that depth or brushed over it for the rest of the film. And I get that we had to be looking at different things here because he's now not in a studio, as in the original. He's now let loose, running in an open world, followed by these probe droids. They're clearly probe droids, aren't they? Filming everything. I do like Edgar Wright. I can see he's tried to put everything as much as possible in front of camera. There's a lot going on. I don't think it all sticks. And certain things happen which we don't really need. It's already slightly over 2 hours. I think is it around 2 hours, 10 minutes. So it's already a long film. When you've got a long film, you've got to be very careful not to bore the audience. And it seems like that happened. And that's a bit of a shame because I feel that there's still another film based on The Running Man that we need to see. A proper character study on the dangers of being trapped in a TV show and maybe the horrors of that. If they wanted to make a really fun film, don't be scared about copying the Arnold film too much. Actually go all in or don't. I think they should have just gone all in and not have all these scenes of fluff that are just distracting us, and just have a full-on action film. They should have flipped a coin and just decided one or the other. Is it going to be a clone of the 80s movie, or are they going to go full into a deep character study? This film was hovering in the middle of that. Okay, let's give this a score. I'm going to say 2 stars. This isn't the film I really expected or wanted to see. That's all a bit of a shame really, because I did enjoy some of it. But again, the parts that weren't so good is you're just boring. And once you're bored with a movie, it's very difficult to snap out of that. So with that, I'm going to thank you all for joining me once again at the movies. If you disagreed with me or if you've got any other thoughts, feel free to use the comment section below. I do read all the comments. I'll see you again next time at the movies. All the best to you, good night and take care.